what should the Republicans be rooting for? Right? Like that Biden stays the nominee, or that they sub in some late nominee like a Gavin Newsom who's extremely radical. I like, what should they be rooting for?
I think here's what I would advise is the two tracks. Number one, you have to put the country first, and let's do that. And I mean, we need a full accounting of exactly what's going on and to try to get ahead of this constitutional crisis. But there must be a change. This cannot go on. What stood up on that stage last night cannot be the commander-in-chief of the most powerful military in the history of the earth, particularly, we're on today's the 110th anniversary of the assassination of the Archduke in Sarajevo by the Serbian nationals that kicked off the bloodiest century in mankind's history, which people thought was kind of this odd event. We cannot do that. We cannot let history repeat itself. So that's number one. Number two, I think it's very simple. We have to make the pain, the lying to the American people, the obfuscation of this, how this was going, and so the search for a Messiah and all that, we have to make the pain of the transition so horrible that it sticks to, that stench sticks to them regardless of who they bring in. And they obviously will fight those people on their own policies, but the process itself has to become an issue. If we make the process this, Americans are going to go, well, yeah, what in the hell's going on? Have we ever changed out a guy like this? What's going on? Didn't people know about it? You make the process part of the politics. Mm-hmm. And the American people will have complete and total revulsion of this. This is not America. This is not how this republic, this is not how we grew. This is not how we freed more people and created more wealth and sacrificed more for people throughout the world. That is not what the United States of America is about. And you make it that they put raw, naked politics ahead of the good of this country and her citizens. And that will stick. And I think that can lead to also maybe not as big a landslide as against Biden, but a big enough, maybe we don't get 57 seats, but you get 50, 52, 53, 54, and you hold the House and pick up a couple of three, and Trump's got the wind to his back for his second term. That's why, if I was doing it, that's what I'd do. You make the pain make the process so painful that the American people notice what they did.
That's right. That their switcheroo will be held against them as well, because they're the ones who put the country in this position. Do you think that all holds true, even if they somehow convince Michele Obama to step in?
I don't think, I don't need to tell you this, but Mike Allen and Jim Vanderhey are two of the smartest media. I mean, they came from the Washington Post, formed Politico, sold it for $1 billion, and started Axios. I think the value of that's a couple of $1 billion. These are very, very smart people. And Axios kind of is the Washington consensus. It's not a random event that they had the Michele Obama as the scoop and the lead story on the morning of the debate, and particularly the way they framed it, that she doesn't like the way the Bidens roll. So all the personal problems, all of that, the money and all that, because the Obamas never took a penny, and they're very untainted that way. But also the fact that they emphasize the fact that she doesn't like politics. She wouldn't do this. She's not partisan. She really wants to be a uniter. I think they'll make a hard play for Michele Obama. I think Michele Obama is the only one I see that could really make a run at President Trump. And about anybody they pick, I think if we do this transition right and make the process, President Trump will win, and I think could win big. But I would think a ticket with Michele Obama, that also takes care of, obviously, the Kamala Harris situation. But I think Michele Obama and Gavin Newsom, or Michele Obama and Gretchen Whitmer, or Gavin Newsom and Pastor Warnock, some combination of that. But no, I think, to me, Michele Obama would be the most competitive, because it would go back to the nostalgia they have for the Obama administration. And clearly President Obama would be very involved in that campaign.
Well, it's interesting, Steve, isn't it, that you've got David Plouffe, Axelrod, Ben Rhodes, all the Obama guys out today saying he needs to go. He can't be the nominee.
Just needs to go. When CNN came back to the panel, this is what was it was too in your face. You came back and you had Van Jones from the Obama White House, and you had David Axelrod, his chief strategist, and there was like a script, and they were going, essentially, this is more in sorrow than in anger. And they had it laid out right there, and you had on MSNBC, you had Plouffe and the same exact thing. No, it was it was too much. And obviously, there's been all kind of rumors about who really is calling the shots in the White House in the first place, with Valerie Jarrett and Susan Rice and others. So I think the fix is in. I think the fix has been in on this, but now it's about the process. Right now is important. Both the national security process and constitutional, and the political process.
Well,
I think
let
will
me
run
ask you about
parallel,
that.
and they also interchange. Yep.
Let me ask you about, when you say we're facing a constitutional crisis, and you said that after I said, should he be forced out under the 25th Amendment for infirmity? What do you mean we're heading for a constitutional crisis?
I mean that. I mean, it's going to have to be, because you're going to have to get the combatant commanders. As commander-in-chief, he has a whole set of relationships and things that must be done. The 25th Amendment here clearly has to be brought up, and I would hope that the service chiefs, not just cabinet members, but service chiefs, start coming forward. I would imagine, I would like to know immediately, and I would ask the House Armed Services Committee to call an immediate hearing. I would like to know what came out of the Pentagon last night to the combatant commanders, and I would particularly like to know what is the Seventh Fleet on higher alert today than it was last night. If it's not, that's a problem. You've given an open invitation to Beijing. You've given an open invitation to the mullahs in Tehran, and you've given an open invitation to Putin and the KGB criminals in Moscow. I mean, I think Zelensky already put out kind of a panicked message today about trying to end the war. This is a crisis of not just in the governance of the country as an entity. It is a national security crisis about what our military apparatus is, and particularly the fact that we're spread over hell's half acre around the rim of the Eurasian landmass in kinetic wars that are going on, two major kinetic wars are going on right now. And the most important one is in a pre-kinetic war stage in the South China Sea and Straits of Taiwan. So this is a crisis, and you're the constitutional lawyer about the 25th Amendment. The cabinet members, they have a whole process of doing it, but you also have the military. And I think armed services, we need transparency right now. Last night showed us that the media is part of the problem. Joe Scarborough, I think that your cut was from a couple weeks ago. I mean, they are an active part of protecting this guy. It's a protection racket. So you can't trust any of them right now. March, you can't trust. I think he had the visit in March. I think this actually might have come afterwards. He said, I just did this in March.
Yeah, no, you're right. He had the visit in March, and then the Wall Street Journal hit Biden, and that was Scarborough afterward.
Exactly. And look at that. That was adamant. I wear the best, the shirt. You're telling me in a couple of weeks you got what you got last night? No, it's a lie. All of it's a lie. And so here we have to put the nation first. And I think we have to look at the commander-in-chief, and I think we have to talk to the combatant commanders. You have to talk to members of the Joint Chiefs, which are not, the chiefs are really not in the direct line of the combatant commanders. But I think you have to talk to the Pacific Fleet, and you have to see, look, we just sent a carrier battle group to the Eastern Med a couple of days ago. Why? Because of the Persian militias and Hezbollah in northern Israel and in southern Lebanon, which the Israelis are telling us they're pivoting out of Gaza and they're going to get it on. And that's a real war. That's not go against a group of terrorists. That's light infantry, close air combat support. And you've got a carrier battle group with another 10,000 American kids in the Eastern Mediterranean. And so now this issue is not about politics. This issue is about the thing itself, is about what we are as a republic. So, and I think people have to be forcing the action here. I think you're going to have a forcing function, because they're going to try to bob and weave on this. And they understand, I believe, that there have been crimes committed. How this was withheld from the American people, what exactly went on, what has been on these meetings, what the media knows about it. I want to see every text message. I want to see every email. I want to know about every conversation, exactly how we arrived at last night.
Do you ever think, how can I work this hard and still be in debt? Been there. The piles of overdue bills, the threatening phone calls, the sick feeling in your stomach, never having money to do anything, much less solve your debt problem. It just won't stop. If you are trapped in debt, Done with Debt can be a way out. Now, these guys have developed aggressive new strategies to end your debt permanently. Done with Debt stands between you and your harassing bill collectors. Wouldn't that be nice? They tirelessly negotiate with your creditors to lower or even forgive what you owe. And they do it all without bankruptcy or new loans. One client said, one phone call saved us a fortune. I wish we did this long ago. Done with Debt has unique strategies to get you out of debt faster and put more money in your pocket every month. But you need to hurry because some debt solutions are time sensitive and you don't want to miss out. Visit donewithdebt.com. Talk with one of their debt relief strategists for free. You have nothing to lose except your debt. Go to donewithdebt.com. That's donewithdebt.com. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.